up there for Bro if they're going to be able to get what, to me, today is an upset.
Yeah. You remember that Diablo and Kellen were leading in duo kills in the LCK amongst all 10 teams. We're not talking about Rise teams. So I'm glad you point that out. I do think that Hype and Palu need to step it up. Hype did have a very nice performance on the Kai'Sa in that big comeback against DNF. But again, that was against DNF, who were kind of struggling. Can they actually do it up against someone like Diablo? Because last time out, it wasn't exactly that close.
Yeah. Pantheon required. I think Azir might also be required, but that Wukong, I'm kind of feeling like this needs to make its spot in this list. It won again earlier today. Banned the Vi instead, so I don't think the Wukong is going to make it, which means Krako is probably already, you know, he's clicked the jungle icon. He's already like
he's doing his roll down.
He's
like, okay, what am I going this game?
Let's see what this final ban is. Here's the Varus, which is a strong response, is gone. The Gwen, that has been really rising quite a lot in popularity, has also been taken away. And they'll take away the Nocturne. Seen a lot of really combo-based play with the Orianna, etc., even Aurora on this. So Azir or Wukong and then give them Azir. I feel like you probably will ban the Azir in this case. Although I think you should have banned Wukong and then Azir and not ban Vi. Vi is good, especially with it in the Rise group. Like Vi is OP.
Yeah.
But
Vi goes way up in value for sure. Aurora.
Okay, so we're doing a little trade action, a little trade deal.
Aurora didn't see any looks in our first series. No bans, no picks, nothing. And that's kind of interesting because Aurora is quite strong, actually.
It was insanely popular last week. It was taken the week by storm. And it's not like she was really tapped on this patch at all either, so I think it's a wise ban if you're going to trade. The Azir is opted into over the Wukong. And what comes with the Wukong?
I almost wrote Wukong in Morgan's spot on my sheet. I'm like, I'm so convinced that it should be Wukong.
Vikla looking better. I'm not going to lie to you guys and say that Vikla's suddenly like a top 4 mid laner in the LCK, but looking better on the Azir in particular. So maybe that's part of why they decide to deny it. Wukong is going to go over to Raptor. And they can just go Wukong Rumble if they want to. Feels like a pretty strong rotation here.
You can go Wukong Orianna, you can go Wukong Annie, you can go Wukong Talia.
Wukong Rakan? Oh, Poppy's still up. Probably not that one.
Wukong Poppy?
I think Wukong
There's the Rumble. Okay.
For a second, it looked like it was an insta-lock of the Alulu, which would have been really interesting. Looking for a strong bottom lane here.
And there's no Aurora, by the way, for the Rumble, so...
Yeah. That's a really good point that you make. So they were super prepared to say, okay, if they take Azir, we have this strong R1, R2. It's a really good point you bring up, because it feels pretty free here. There's no Gwen either.
Ornn.
Ornn is a soft counter to the Rumble, although it is a auto-lose early game prio.
Are they going to play Sivir too? Just like lock Sivir now. Just like, okay, we're playing for late game, guys. It's Rise group.
I do think they probably will. The only other pick that comes to mind, but I think is too risky blind, even though you can protect it, is the Senna. Okay. Interesting. We picked Ornn and also Trundle.
Trundle is not good into Wukong.
No. We talked about this earlier in the draft. They must have been listening to the Korean commentators. I'm not saying the Korean commentators said that it wasn't, but they didn't say it at all probably because it's pretty obvious, you know?
Aha.
The Talia, on the other hand, feels very good with the rest of BNK's composition.
Yeah.
And also quite good into Trundle, who kind of has to run at you, and when you put the rocks on the ground or put the shove towards him, it hurts his chances of doing so.
Oh, I wonder what they want to pick, Wolf.
Yeah, I think
with
they
the Poppy ban
might be trading a Poppy ban for Rakan here. If I had to guess, Valdez. Alistair, of course, will be banned first, but then the Rakan will follow.
Yes. Please. I really hope so. I really do.
That does leave Nico open, which is also kind of insane for this comp here for BNK.
Yeah. A little bit less synergy with the Wukong, but
these are the
still has synergy.
These are the moments for Bro in drafting where I go, are they still being a little bit dragged down by Morgan's champ pool a little bit here, where he just wants to play Ornn in this situation, which empowers his ear, and then
Well, he didn't have to play Trundle Wolf.
No. But like, when I look at what BNK has, I go, okay, there's a lot of power here, even in the late game. You know, even if the scaling is online for this Azir and he has an ornament, that doesn't mean you win by default. Like, it's so much easier to play what BNK have. They shouldn't have also Rakan on top of it. Surely. Surely.
As you mentioned, the Nico's there too. Maybe they want to take one of them, right? But you're still giving premium supports over to this composition that we've seen many times.
Just because you don't have the Xayah doesn't mean you can't play the Rakan. And you still will have an answer to the 80 carry.
Yeah.
Or, actually, this makes sense in this draft, though. This is a way better angle for Yunara than what we saw earlier today. Really, so far, vulnerable to potentially an Ornhorn, but if you're an 80 carry getting caught by that, you got bigger problems than the champ you're playing. If you are getting caught by an Azir ult, a little bit more forgivable. But see what the answer is going to be here. Like, Varus is gone. I don't think you want to play Kalista. Lucian is probably the best bet. And they will lock that in straight away. Lucian, Braum. And in this matchup, I think the loss of that 7 armor probably isn't really going to hurt you too much. And maybe we just get another Yunara Lulu. You know, it empowers the Wukong quite heavily.
Just play Rakan.
You can just play Rakan. It's not going to be as great in the lane.
Yeah.
But you can just sustain through it. And it's amazing for team fights. But like the fact that you have 2 great options means that I think you're winning this draft super hard.
They had the Nico as well. Like, it just felt like BNK were in control of this draft the entire time. You know?
I mean, Bro's draft feels like it was so good 2.5 weeks ago. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah. Back then we were like, oh yeah, Trundle's peak right now. We're seeing all sorts of Ornn this year. It's scaling.
Yeah. I mean, if they went Sivir instead of Trundle, I'd be on board. I'd be like, okay, you guys have an idea, right? You're all in the same direction. We're doing the same thing. It makes sense.
Because I mean, even
Instead,
the Lucian,
we got this.
The Lucian, there's no tank really on the other side. Like he could burst somebody down. It could work, right, in theory. But Bro just kind of, I feel like, pieced together a patchwork quilt, whereas BNK are like, I press the R buttons. And also, Yunara's on our side.
Chad.
Can you get to our Yunara through Wukong? I don't know if they will.
It's just like how Zeri is great with comps like this, or, you know, you just kind of press your buttons in the direction and that tanks, right?
Daystar hanging out, and some of the other Challengers players, I believe. Sobero, that's who it was I recognized there.
And Roller. There you go. We got the whole list. We did it. And, yeah, we'll see if Bro can still make it work. Again, anything is possible. Anything is possible in the Rise group. We'll see what the execution looks like here after this draft for game number 1. Let's hop into the raids.
미니언 생성까지 30초 남았습니다.
All right, game number 1. Bro versus BNK, the rematch from last Thursday.
Yeah, very recent.
Gonna have a lot of these
Turnaround.
repeat matchups because we have the same teams playing each other 3 times instead of 2 in the new format.
Vikla not quite hitting most of those.
Krako is angry, and they're gonna get the flash out of Vikla, if not the kill. Yeah, they're just gonna get the kill. That is a very strong Trundle just running at them and pressing Q. OP.
Yeah, very strong with the Braum at level 1, the heal to speed up. I was like, maybe Burliever's having a bit of tempo vibes. Look, I wasn't here last week. I'm just gonna say it a little bit, okay? Like I have my tempo vibes day, okay?
Don't worry.
Atlas isn't even here today.
Are you casting again this week?
I'm back tomorrow.
Back tomorrow with me. We're just doing the back-to-back? That's crazy.
Tempo vibes are with us.
We got the tempo vibes caster combo right now. I just thought, you know, maybe you'd get a chance to cast with Atlas, and then in that case, you'd be hearing it a lot. So
yeah, well, I
have a lot of opportunities as well.
As the tempo vibes expert, I would just defer to his knowledge.
Yeah. I just pretend to know what he means.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing all day.
Yeah.
Well, that threaded volley from Vikla didn't hit that much, which I think limited the slow, which allowed for that to happen. But he would have loved to just back away a little bit faster and get that flash over the wall. He dies. It's a kill for Krako. It's a nice level 1. Raptor loses his flash, but at the end of the day, how much this really matters, as we're going to watch this again from Krako's first-person.
That's illegal.
Yeah.
That's actually illegal. To dash in against Trundle Braum, no.
I mean,
not allowed.
He still gets away.
Yeah, he did. It's true. Raptor did get away. And that's why anything is possible in the Rise group.
Yeah. I don't know if that should have led to Morgan also getting a pretty huge lead in the early part of this lane phase. Like, I've been one of those guys always, even in my earlier LCK time where I wasn't always sure, but I've been one of those guys whenever someone says it's a hard counter, I always go, well, let's wait and see. A lot of people have been saying Ornn's a hard counter to the Rumble, but the early levels for Rumble often goes heavily in favor of the Rumble. This laning phase right now, not so much. Morgan has shown himself to be quite a capable Ornn and already has that early null magic mantles. That's going to help him out a lot. Part of why this matchup feels good is all-in opportunity is denied.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Lucian Braum offers. Still a very strong duo, and they had Trundle on the bottom side of the map, so they're confident to press their buttons and go forward. And now they're going to go ahead and help Krako get this Scuttle Crab, so not half bad. We see Raptors in mid, just saying hello and then running away.
Indeed. I see Raptor will get that top scuttle. We keep watching Hype and Palu try to get the Lucian Braum value down here. And, you know, in this laning phase, they didn't pick the Lulu. So it's kind of just sitting back and not getting concussive blowed if you can help it. Couldn't help it.
What is going to happen to Diablo many times? As he wants to step up, he wants to harass with the Rakan, but at the end of the day, the Lucian Braum, if that Q's going to land, you're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of how this goes, because the Rakan has no combat power, only defensive knockups.
Keeps landing the quills.
Yeah, he's healing him. So that's helpful.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's slow.
Pretty big, lots of damage coming in. Hype gonna be pushed away. Diablo's still a bit low himself, though.
Yeah, Diablo didn't quite have his Q stacked up. If he has it there, I think he goes for it, tries to play aggressive. Doesn't have his Ghost anymore.
Yeah, Hype also up a Summoner. So at this point, I feel like they're just kind of saying, we're going to keep you at arm's length and not take a full fight and continue to try to harass.
He's a scribe with this quill accuracy, man. Let's see his calligraphy at this point. All right,
I'm excited.
Double gank here in the mid lane.
Whoa. Double gank.
Double gank all the way.
Yeah, what's the coolest? Double gank, double rainbow, or double dragon?
Double dragon for sure.
Double dragon.
Yeah. Let's see if one of these teams can secure that early on. Otherwise, yeah, Rumble doing well in this early laning phase in terms of the pressure. Doesn't have a CS lead, though. Morgan laning very well. As Diablo, once again, stacking his Q. It's like, is there a play angle? When that Braum Q misses, he's definitely thinking about it a little bit more, but decides to back away. They get the pressure relieved with this push. And we'll start the back, so I don't think Hype is interested in looking for a stop of the channel. And with this timing, you know, with the mid lane prio, they could try to go for an early dragon, but there's just not a whole lot of additional vision. That Scryer's Bloom will confirm no one else is on the Drake, and the lull state continues.
Yeah.
An early one, but
Bro
and Brew.
You know, it's not quite Bro versus DRX, which is that's like the business class version of Bro and Brew, you know, like you get in the free lounge and you're feeling really good, like you're really relaxing, you're sitting back, you're there for like 25 minutes because why not? This is like, you know, just a regular Bro and Brew. It's still good, but it's not quite Bro DRX good.
You press the lay flat button because you know you're not going to be on the edge of your seat anytime soon.
Yeah, no, you got a lot of time to hang out.
Pillar to a Wukong.
Yeah. Gonna actually go in here, bit of damage on Apollo, but that is still Braum. Raptor does have his flash, and it looks like he might have to use it here. As a little sweep onto Vikla, but it's only closer. He's just alone. Raptor does eventually flash over the wall. The wall here from the side of Vikla, though, newly created, is going to force the flash out of Apollo, as both teams a little bit reluctant to attack each other.
That's Rise Group, baby! That was a lot of abilities used without really a whole lot of conjunction with their teammates' abilities together. But it was a turn-based battle, and it ended up being a relatively even exchange at the end.
It really was two-faced, wasn't it?
I don't know how else to describe it as the Trundle and the Wukong believers were probably like, I don't know, Valdez, in that draft you said it wasn't possible, but he got the first blood into Wukong and dashed into him, and then in that battle there was able to get his splash out.
Yes. He's ahead on gold.
He is ahead.
Yeah.
I don't know if there are any believers. I just made them up. Okay,
there are dozens of them.
We're ghosting?
Yeah, a harass zoning ghost here from Diablo, of course.
You remember Danny Phantom?
Yeah. He's going ghost.
That was the edge of Nickelodeon for me, where I was just barely a little bit too old to watch it, but if it was on, I'd check it out, you know?
Yeah, you're like, oh, I wish I could watch SpongeBob, but this is on. Okay, I'll watch that.
I can't think of a newer show than Danny Phantom from Nickelodeon.
We're diving. Yeah, we got 4 members here. They would really love the Lucian. They're not going to get it.
And Palu, I don't know if they're going to get it either.
It's just they're like, oh, he got away. Okay, never mind. Now they're just going for the grab.
Palu's like, Hudor. And they're like, whoa, okay.
Whoa.
Vico's going to miss some minions here, but will ultimately back away. It's a win for them. They didn't get the kills, but they get the top objective. Krako will get this Drake in return. But that was a lot of farm lost for Hype. He won't lose either summoner. He isn't going to die, but I still think in terms of who wins out on the tempo, it's BNK.
Yeah, that does feel good. We'll see if they can get any split pushing going with those grubs that they did get. As for now, it's still a relatively even game. First Drake, not the biggest steal in the world, but let's see how many Drakes Bro can stack up. As this matchup, you see, just builds a bunch of magic resist and tries to not die. As here comes Kellen. And Morgan still not going to die. Nor will he go for any action, of course. No real reason to.
+1 wave. Yeah.
Now is Morgan to just hold it. No.
Yeah.
Got to get it back in.
You're just going to hold it. You're going to slow her back. Don't have TP, seeing her options.
Wow, exhaust as well. Diablo says, I'm going to just ult this way.
Yeah, he certainly did, and he got away as Palu's Q didn't land. So, just a trade there of summoner or a unsealed exhaust for a ult. Feels like a trade up for Bro.
Yeah.
Although I don't know what it will necessarily mean, if anything. Hype has denied some CS and caught up in CS, taken a lead in CS. All right, I mean, once this crashes, it'll go back a little bit, but it's going to be about even. In fact, this game is real slow, huh, Valdez?
I liked your commentary of the waves and the CS, though.
Yeah, I mean, look at that.
Sometimes
look at that. Dead even.
I do sometimes wonder, what would it be like if we were commentators for T-sports, traditional sports? And then I just think about us casting this game, and it's just like a golf broadcast, and it's like, oh, I already know. I already know what it's like to cast T-sports.
90% of a FIFA game.
Yeah.
We're earlier when they went for the dive, we're like, he shoots. Oh, nice defense.
Good save there, as he's going to pass it up the side, or whatever they call it.
If you take a look at the possession graph.
The possession graph. Yes, Bro is currently 51% possession at the moment in the fourth quarter.
Now, if we get a second dragon here for Bro, which, by the way, old Bro, Umpty Lava Bro, known for dragon stacking.
Yeah.
Then we get double dragon. Well, foreshadowing was put out there, and double dragon could happen.
Yeah, I knew it was coming. At some point, generally around 15 minutes into the game.
Now, if you
get two dragons,
if for example BNK gets the second dragon and then Bro gets the third dragon, that doesn't count as double dragon.
No.
I think we can actually establish this right now. I think we just came up with a new term for a 2 Drake stack. It's now called double dragon.
Yeah.
We got something out of this early game. Finally, hell yeah!
We did it.
Double dragon. That's a thing.
Yes, we figured it out.
Can't double grubs or anything like that anymore. They sold that up. Can't double herald anymore. Yeah. Double dragon though, it's a thing. That's why double dragon's the memorable one. That's why it was the best one of the things.
Can you double Baron?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
Yeah.
because it doesn't show up in the you know, in the graph.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it's not on the sheet. You know, it's not on our list of stats.
No.
I mean, technically it is in the post-game breakdown. If you take more than one Baron,
that's just called a consecutive Baron take, or a 2 in the row.
all right.
Another ghost.
He's going ghost. He's ghosting in, and that's still Braum. But he got the heal and the flash out of Hype, actually. So that's pretty good.
Here, I mean, they have a stacked wave. Hold on, Hype.
Yeah, oh, Hype's in a lot of trouble here. And look at Paulo, he's like, yeah, you're dead. You're dead, buddy. I can't do anything to save you. So a 4-man dive here, gonna get our 2nd kill of the game, 13 minutes in.
I mean, it was not the most flashy tempo ghost, but it's enough to actually start to put that pressure on. Getting the flash out of Hype is massive, and they get the follow-up. His closer will trade it for plates, but obviously the more plates going down here on the bottom side doesn't really feel like a win. It feels more like a consolation prize. And in fact, I mean, they can, with this wave, take the whole turret. 3 grubs. I mean, that is going to be first brick and a feat of strength.
Yeah, it's pretty big. Decent amount of farm here for the Yunara as well.
So look at this again. Because Raptor's coming down here, he ghosts early, and then Hype has to flash. You know, the angle wasn't great for Kellen there, but he flashes for safety. And now tries to hold on to his turret, but with Vikla coming down, that's the big backbreaker here. It's like, well, Paulo just can't even be anywhere near. He'll just die for sure. Otherwise, maybe you try to make a play for that. But ultimately, Paulo just has to watch his AD carry die, and then the turret follows. It is looking like, however, Double Dragon. First Double Dragon.
First Double Dragon on the LCK.
Yeah.
Coming through. After the official renaming of the concept.
Boom, Double Dragon.
Double Dragon secured. And that is right before a Mountain Soul. So we're going to get another one of these.
Okay, so that's really good for both comps, but I would say definitely favors Bro. If they can, with this Ornn
for sure.
Trundle, stack up those shields. And just the resistances, obviously, as well, from that third one. It'll feel pretty good. But if a Wukong ends up getting like 3 later on, he's also going to be a big winner.
Yeah.
So I think we'll see a lot of action around Dragons, which at the pace of this game, at 2 kills in 15 minutes, I'm really hoping for.
By a lot of action, you mean like maybe +1 kill?
Yeah.
Potential, like maybe 1 kill per dragon, I think, is about the pace we're looking at here.
So, you know, this is the Bork build, by the way, for Diablo. We did not see this in the previous game. He went for the Yuntals to IE. This is the build where you try to skirmish a little bit more early. You try to spike earlier with 2 items. I think given that the enemy team has, air quotes, like the better scaling comp with the Azir and the Ornn, this does make sense. But I don't know if the build matters as much as can you kill the Yunara in skirmishes and in late game team fights. And Bro, we're going to have to answer that question with this comp that, engage-wise, has a Braum, a Trundle Pillar, and an Ornn, right? So there are some tools, but this is, compared to the last Yunara game we had, it feels like Diablo is like laughing. Like, you guys try to catch me, try to take me out. I'm going to have such a free setup. And you can see it even in this angle here. Like, Engage is so tricky with his comp. Equalizer might just be enough to deny them entry.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have a way through. They're going to try it with the pillar. There's the Braum as well. It's just Vikla who has to flash. They're going to go all in on the Vikla, but the seismic shove is huge to knock them back. And Vikla is saved for a very long amount of time. Raptor is going to pick up the eye, but he will pay for it. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, Clear and Diablo getting the work here, but they went a little bit too far as now the sweep goes in on a Clear. He's doing a ton of damage. He's still alive. Clear lives, and Diablo finally is taken out, and it looks like big boy Trundle made his way back. That's a quadra kill for Trundle 16 minutes into the game.
Looked like a winnable fight there for BNK. Diablo lived for so long, but he's just still sitting on that Bork. Doesn't have the damage to hard carry the fight, although his flash into that Emperor's Divide was chef's kiss. I have issue with how late BNK decide how they want to take this team fight. And by the time they decide, Vikla can just feebly shove as the rest of the team gets steamrolled. Diablo does a lot here, but he's not great at breaking tanks. Like, that's one of the weaknesses of Yunara. He can't kill Morgan here. The flash here onto the Emperor's Divide is amazing, but the fight is essentially already won at this point. And I think if you equalize earlier, or you push on to Hype earlier, like, you could have made calls but they wanted to both like hold the Herald aggro while also then winning on both sides. And eventually, bro, we're just like, well, we're gonna get on top of you and engage.
It was a bit disrespectful, right? I think that's one way to describe it, because it's like, we will just get everything and there's nothing you can do about it, which is not true, because bro proved like, okay, we can just run at you, we can pillar you, we can force Vikla to flash, and we can zone Raptor away. So Raptor wasn't even a factor in the fight. There's no CC from him. Clears Equalizer, thus totally missed when they decided to turn, because Kellen didn't go in because he couldn't, because he was trying to peel for Vikla. So it was like all over the place, and all bro had to do, as was apparent by the quadra kill for a Trundle, is kind of just run at them. Yeah. And BNK were not ready.
You could see some of the obvious issues in this comp's engage and locking down the Yunara, but eventually they were like, well, we just kill Vikla, I suppose, and you know, you don't have enough damage to actually stop us from running at you. This is a weird trap here, but it might just work.
Yeah, didn't expect him in the brush after checking. The Braum coming in as well, and there's the Lucian. So much pressure up here from the side of Bro, but there is a Rift Herald elsewhere. They're gonna get Kellen, so that's 2 kills for the side of, and he's gonna deny it. Very nicely done here by Kroko. For now, the subjugation is gonna come down as well, as they're going in on the Kroko. I don't think that's gonna work.
Man, this really is the game where people are going to be like, no, I'm pretty sure Trundle is good into Wukong. I'm like, no, you don't hold there. Like, he has Subjugate. Come on. He has 5 kills. He's got Force of Nature. I don't even know why he has Force of Nature.
It's Spirit Massage.
Or sorry, Spirit Massage. Yeah. My bad. I said the wrong AP unusual item that nobody builds. Well, it's getting a little bit more popular these days. Closer is going to outrun a Weaver's Wall. But he doesn't have to TP to defend the turret, so I suppose that's a small win.
So the Trundle is huge. We know that. Trundle is gigantic.
Yes.
How much is it going to matter? I feel like the biggest lead that matters is the closer one. Like, this Azir is quite strong, especially compared to Vikla, who's not quite having the same impact. Of course, he has gotten bullied a little bit in some of these fights. And BNK are going to get this Drake. So you see he checks. Yeah, he thinks, okay, it's free.
He thinks he's safe. That's actually just such a good, setup here from Morgan. The placement of the Braum ultimate as well is perfect. And then Kellen here, unfortunately, doesn't really have an out. Like, tries to ult his way away. Flashing there wouldn't have saved him. And Morgan happy with the setup he had there. This guy triply is happy.
Baby!
오공 개멀어, 오공 개멀어.
And then
얘들아 미드 타워 지켰어.
And then the pillar.
미드 타워 지켰어, 미드 타워 지켰어. 야 미드 타워 지켰어, 얘들아.
I saved mid turret.
Yep.
Is what he kept saying. And he did.
Like, I'm gonna save it, and he did. And so, you know, BNK didn't get anything back. They lost that tremendous team fight. I'm starting to feel like with this kind of weird, it's not weird. This is the build I often go when I play Yunara so far, the Bork into Runins. You have a lot of power at, doing AoE damage and carrying a skirmish when you're ahead, but I think from behind, you've just delayed your IE spike that you really need. Look at the advantages they have, the amount of deep vision they have here top side, how much cryo they have over this Baron pit, which allows them to just kind of force fights around this side laning Azir, and the Ornn that's starting to get so big that he can just deal with the Rumble this early. It's really, it's not that early. It feels like it's an early game with how little action we've had. Pushing into the Rumble, you feel good now. TP over. They're going to just look for an Otacon take here.
Yep, there was vision on this, by the way. They knew that this was started. So BNK have to get in. Can they do it? The equalizer's pretty good. Now a wall's going to come down and, well, he gets here, kind of zones his team, but that's fine. He lowers it. Now Morgan going on in. The target is Morgan for some reason. He is super tanky, and they just turn off of this one. A giant sweep comes in, but still a ton of damage. Look at Diablo, totally untouched on the backside, and Bro are so low after all that damage, and that just means they get absolutely shredded. Clear as well. It's burning them to a crisp.
It's another Bro fight where they're just victims of the re-engages. Kroko has a turret here.
He's so tanky. Oh, he's going to go down, and the shutdown goes over to Vikla. They also get the Otacon. Little bonus buff here.
Spirit Visage into Talia and Rumble feels pretty good when you're 5 kills and you got that turret and there's no wave, but ultimately there's just too many BNK members here. Down he will go. when I watched that Bro DNF series, a lot of the fights looked kind of like this, where Bro were on an objective and they're like, there's no way they can contest this. This Equalizer is serious value in terms of the zoning and also some of the damage it applies. But watch the turn here with the Rakan. It's actually insane.
Just look at Diablo.
Diablo doing so much damage. The Rakan turn here after the Emperor Collide is insane as Diablo just free hits here. AoE with Runins plus his Q stack bouncing. It's really just from his ult, but you know what I mean. His Q passive, which is activated by his ult, is crazy. And then Kroko, yeah, I mean, he avoids the knockup, but it doesn't matter. Clear gets out. So Bro kind of had a massive lead that they just tossed away off of hoping that closer ulting, I suppose, would be enough. I mean, the setup initially with Morgan's ult was pretty good, but you didn't break their formation. Hype was zoned away, you couldn't follow up right away.
Yeah.
The Equalizer for BNK allowed them to have that opportunity to fight.
This is such a Rise group gold
It
draft.
is.
It's
the convection I was
kind of all
talking
over.
about.
It's the convection, except it's happening in the game as well as outside in terms of the whole LCK.
Yeah, right now Valdez is at the sweaty part.
Convection within a convection. We're like really getting deep now. Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. I mean, they were tanking the Otacon too. Like, how many times have we said this? Where it's like, okay, turning off of objectives is a thing in League of Legends, but turning off of Otacon is different from like turning off a Baron, turning off a Dragon, turning off of anything else, because your resistances get shredded and you're taking a bunch of damage.
They did also leave the Rakan up after the
they did
was
do
banned.
that. I mean, the draft is a whole other can of worms, a different convection.
Calling 100% KP. I'm just saying. They do have Prio.
Preach.
I'm a small preach, you know.
You're preaching to the choir at the moment. The Pillar's going to come down.
Not a whole lot of value with it, though. The Drake spawns in 20, so they're not going to commit just yet. They're, in fact, just going to try to push mid instead with this Azir. Set up the Sun Disc.
Yeah. First Mountain Drake kind of went over for free to BNK, so you can tell that Bro do not want to let them continue to stack.
This is a really smart setup here. This is what Azir does best. You Sun Disc the outer, pressure the mid, inner, while your team contests Prio. This is going to force Vikla over, but he's so slow that he gets nothing. You will have to just hold back in, but BNK just running circles around Bro here on the objective setup instead.
Nice Equalizer. Actually, it's a zoning Equalizer. And I think because Talia gets there first as well, just the whole team was already turning around, so they're like, it's not a great setup. So Bro, this time they just say no, and they're actually looking at the Baron.
And there's no vision of this. See if BNK are able to suss this out, because they really just don't have any vision really on the map. There's no mid vision, there's no mid wards. They are going to come over and see this. Raptor does not have flash, but does have the Warriors Trickster, and he's in the angle, potentially contest.
Looking for the turn. It's a little bit late, though. Not everybody's going to get there. Now Morgan in a lot of trouble, taking a huge damage on the top of this fight. Kroko as well getting chunked out. BNK taking it slow, though, and now Hype in the front line. And this is the follow-up for Raptor is not quite there.
This is an angle where if you stay there, Diablo is just going to rip you to shreds. You've used all of your tools to try to peel and hold Baron. And the Yunara is like, don't forget about me, by the way. Going straight into LDR on the third item. Got the Executioner's Calling there as well. And with this build, especially when you've been given this much free reign in team fights, you're just incredibly powerful. Fights like this. Deathcap also almost done here for Vikla as well.
Yeah, you know, he got that massive shutdown on Kroko. And he caught up in a big way after that.
So look at the tools used here on, is it a turn? Is it a retreat? Like Morgan drops this ult down, hits two people, but there's no fault. The placement of the rocks for Vikla means they can't follow up. And like, look at how indecisive this is. Kroko is both running in as Morgan's getting chased down, then he retreats. And they just have no way to get Hype in to hit any of these meaningful targets.
We don't often get replays of plays that don't have kills, but in Bro games, we do. And that time, we absolutely did. By the way, Deathcap, you were talking about it, is completed here. And Vikla, you know, it was like more than a 1,000 gold lead for Closer in the early parts of this game, but now Vikla, 1,000 gold ahead for him, and feeling a lot stronger than his counterpart at the moment.
I mean, rushing the LDR, I think, makes sense when you're up against this Trundle and the Ornn, and it obviously is going to weaken some of your damage, but given the other damage sources they have and the great CC, I don't know if it really matters. And, I mean, looking at the setup here for this Baron. I mean, BNK could turn.
Yeah. We'll see if they actually do, or if we're just going to kind of K-ram in mid, because that's also another option. Side laning isn't real. BNK do have 3 grubs, so keep that in mind. They could, you know, send clear with TP to a side lane, maybe get some pressure going. Vikla, who's ahead with TP, could get some pressure going.
And it is, of course, a mortal reminder he's building with that calling as well, to mention the calling in his inventory, Diablo. Either way, heal deny plus, I mean, which is great into the trundle, but also the ability to break through these tanks. It's going to feel really good. I'm a little bit surprised BNK aren't more willing to utilize the fact that they have all their ultimates up, as well as a Weaver's Wall at the ready to force Baron fights here, where Bro's engage is very limited. Playing the map instead. And I guess that's a less risky play, but certainly think there was a real angle to pull the trigger and say, like, let's take this game in our own hands with the lead that we have. Because the Dragon's not up for 90 seconds, so playing through bottom here, a little bit funky.
Yeah. It feels like both teams are trying to figure out the macro state in real time. You know what I mean? Well, it's like, we're like, where do we go? Do we have to defend? Are we pushing anywhere? It certainly does feel like the tempo vibes are heavily in favor of BNK, where it just feels like they're in total control of this game, even though they're not that far ahead. Like, there are still ways for Bro with, by the way, the Ornn and the ornaments. You know, they can easily make up for that gold difference that BNK have in the lead. The vibes are there as now we get the engage onto that front line. Hype in a lot of trouble. He's just going to go down. That's what that engage does. But Diablo also in a bit of trouble, but he's finally peeled for as Johnny will go. The seismic shove on a 2 is gigantic as well. Vikla, tons of damage from this Talia at the moment, and he's going to make it count. He's going to make them hurt. As now going on in, the recon in that back line, and the comp is doing what it says on the tin. BNK go in and engage and take down 4.
Yeah, Krako is being hunted, but I think he is going to be able to get away here. Well, maybe not, actually. Okay, Vikla does not quite know where he is.
Oh. Oh.
Pillar stops him, and he is going to live for a little bit longer, but he's just trying to delay the Baron, which they're already doing. He's got a control ward here, so he knows he can do the little loop-de-loop, but ultimately he's not contesting Baron. His team is wiped, and so it won't matter. The fact that they're able to set up this equalizer here and then cut this team off, like, look at this. Weaver's Wall plus equalizer. How can he peel for hype? He gets charmed immediately by Kellen, and there's just too many threats. As Morgan has backline access here, but it means he's not able to save his front line. And the shove is just amazing here. And Diablo, he didn't do that much damage in the beginning of this fight because he was collapsed on, but the rest of the fight was basically won without him. He's just here to help clean up at the very end, as Kellen is getting all the kills here. But that's Baron here for BNK in a 6,000 gold lead, not to mention the sole point they should be able to pick up by default with the prio the Baron gives. And I just can't see them slipping up from here.
Yeah, it doesn't seem very likely, especially with a comp like this. Unless we go, like, maybe another 10 minutes. Like, if Bro could hold on somehow. The issue is that they're in a BNK, right? Bro, a relatively passive team, but BNK, especially when they feel like they're winning, they are kind of like the Vibes team, the Tempo Vibes team, where it's like, if they feel like the tempo's on their side, they're just gonna go in all the time, even if sometimes it's not a good idea. Type, he gets slowed up, there's the equalizer. And now he doesn't exist anymore.
If you hit that arc, I mean, the slow is so insane that if you're behind like that, you will just get chunked down. There's no counterplay except to just splash if you get hit. He does not, and he will lose all of his health bar as a result, and that is just an inhibitor going down, and potentially more as they now collapse onto this bottom inhibitor here. Vikla has his Weaver's Wall back, so they can just straight up siege it.
Yeah, very nicely done. Good plays here from the side of BNK, and the shove is good once again after the stun follow-up. Very nicely done here. Only 3 guys left on the side of Bro, as Morgan gonna cancel that one, but he's still going down. And we'll just see how much extra damage they can add to their post-game breakdown stats graph, because that's all these players care about. They know they already won the game. It's 11,000 ahead, and down will go the Nexus. BNK will take game number 1.
Double Dragon can't stop this team, Valdez. And at the end of the day, 100% KP for Kellen